I'm wearing a hat which has an A on it. I'd have to say that the Secret Service does not get an A for their protection of Donald Trump. This was a day yesterday which will more than live in infamy. It was the result of the Biden regime and its leftist media attacking Trump, calling him Hitler, saying he's an existential threat. He was set up for this. In fact, I believe that they wanted this. The Biden people, the Democrats, and the left had failed at every attempt to take Donald Trump out. They even talked about taking him out. Nancy Pelosi said they wanted to, quote, take him out. James Carville said they wanted to take Trump out. This was in many ways intentional. They knew that there was a likelihood that this was going to happen. The Democrats and the left failed politically. They failed with their lawfare, with Russian collusion. They failed with these ridiculous cases, stupid cases, corrupt cases with corrupt judges in New York City and in Washington, D.C. This was regrettably predictable. But how did they do it? Now, the Secret Service agents around Trump have been on his detail for a very long time. They were very brave people. They probably are very loyal. He thinks they're loyal. But the higher-ups of the Secret Service, an individual, I forget his name, who denied that Trump has been asking for more security detail. And in fact, Bobby Kennedy has asked for detail. He doesn't get it at all. Does that tell you something? Does 2 and 2 equal 4? Does the fact that the two opponents of Joe Biden either don't have adequate security detail or don't have any detail at all tell you something? The shooter was on a building. People that were there pointed it out for the Secret Service and the police. They did nothing. He got off 5 to 7 shots. This shooter donates to Act Blue, which just so happens to be the same entity that many of the people of the DC bar contribute to, and the left, and the politicians on the left. He's a leftist. Don't be fooled that they say he was a Republican registered voter. That probably was long into the past. He has been pushed. He was brainwashed, likely, by the leftist media and the Biden people. They wanted this to happen. The potential blood is on the hands of Joe Biden. And when you saw his response, he walks out in a daze, his usual daze, not knowing where he is, the brain-dead criminal that he is. And he just says, oh, political violence is terrible, and then he stumbles off. He doesn't care. He wants Trump dead, frankly, because that's the only way he can win. And at this point, Trump's victory is assured. People that maybe even didn't like him will probably vote for him just because of the courage which he showed. And talk about mental and physical acuity and ability. Trump reacted immediately. He touched his ear, he fell to the floor, he got up with a fist. Let's fight on. You can see that mentally and physically, he is more than well. He's not the average 78-year-old, frankly, or 76, whatever he may be. He's quite vibrant. And that picture is a picture that will go down in American history with the flag behind him and his hand raised. Something you would never see from Joe Biden. This is not an endorsement on who to vote for. It's just the reality of what we're dealing with. Frankly, I hold everyone on the left accountable. They are part of this entire problem in this country. They have no sense of right or wrong. They generally don't believe in God. They believe in government. They will do anything to destroy Donald Trump and those who support Donald Trump, or for that matter, conservatives in general, or Republicans in general. I am an independent Republican. I don't support the Republican Party establishment. I never have, even when I ran for Senate in Florida. I was the true Republican, a Jeffersonian Republican. But I don't wear that on my sleeve because, frankly, the American people are not served well by either party. But the fact is that what happened yesterday with Donald Trump was intended to happen. And Joe Biden, but for the grace of God, because President Trump turned his head at the right moment, God was looking upon him and the American people, is alive today. 99,000 out of 100,000 times, Trump would be dead. You have to believe that God had his hand in this. And let's hope that God has his hand, and I believe he will, in removing Joe Biden from office peacefully and legally. Of course, we have attempted it and are doing it with our citizens' grand juries, our citizens' trials. Biden has been indicted, tried, and convicted for bribery from communist China, Ukraine, and Russia, and negligent homicide in Afghanistan. He is absolutely the worst president, the most corrupt, the most dishonest, the most despicable, and the most incompetent that we've ever had in this country. And it is time for the American people, peacefully and legally, to rise up and remove this guy from power. If there's any effect to this, he's going to have a hard time attacking Trump the way he did a few days ago in the future by calling him every name under the sun. But make no mistake about it, the left failed this time, but it's not over. They will try other means to destroy, if not kill, Donald Trump. And that's a fact. And I predicted this. I predicted it was going to happen. So rise up, fellow Americans. Join me at Freedom Watch at freedomwatchusa.org. Join our Justice League. Contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. We are your Justice Department. There is no honest Justice Department. And don't expect the FBI, who sent a mumbling fool out there to say what happened yesterday and couldn't articulate anything, to investigate this thing properly. It'll be covered up, just like the death of John F. Kennedy was covered up at the hands likely of the CIA. It is for the American people to mete out justice peacefully and legally. And God forbid that something like this happens in the future, in the days, months leading up to November 5th of this year. It will likely trigger a civil war. And I say, get yourself armed, get ready, use your Second Amendment rights. The right doesn't do this stuff. The left does it, whether it's Black Lives Matter, Antifa, or you name it. We have not tried to harm anyone, whether it was Obama or even Biden. But the left will use any means. Karl Marx, in his manifesto, said the ends justify the means. The left is evil, pure evil. And this current Democrat Party is pure evil. And I'm nonpartisan, believe me, even though I'm conservative. But that's a fact. The Democrat Party is pure evil. It's the disciple of the devil. That's my message for today. Again, go to freedomwatchusa.org, contribute to our cause with tax-deductible contributions. You need a Freedom Watch to protect not just Donald Trump, but yourselves and your loved ones. God bless you. God save America. God protect us all. We live in very dangerous times. And as our founding fathers who looked upon the divine providence to form a new nation, we must do so again. I'll be back Monday with a special podcast. Until then, pray, be resolute, be strong, arm up to defend yourself peacefully and legally, and don't be the aggressor. But if people start it, you finish it. And that's the way our founding fathers did it, and that's the way it has to be. I'll be back then with another special podcast. Until then, remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. Thank you for listening to me.